Embers. The world is a silent place. May please do not crash. Thank you. Alba jolts awake, gasping for air, her body shaking violently, like a drowning person finally breaking the surface. Sweat soaks through her clothes, clinging coldly to her skin, making her shiver. She looks down and stares blankly at her drenched clothing in disbelief. Something feels wrong, unmistakably wrong, yet she cannot quite put a finger on what. She places a hand against her soaked chest, feeling her heart hammering violently, as if it's about to burst free from her ribcage, its dull pounding echoing in her ears. Sweat? A heartbeat? She looks around in a daze and realizes she is sitting upright inside the train. The train is moving at high speed. Through the window, she can see it is crossing a desert. It is crossing a desert. Yellow sand stretches endlessly in every direction. Fierce winds howl, whipping sand into the air, blotting out the sky and turning the distant landscape into a hazy blur. The blaring sun scorches the earth, filling the air with dry heat, as if trying to bake everything alive. The ground is cracked and barren, with not a blade of grass in sight. A hopeless desolation fissures crisscrossing the land like scars, speaking of utter death. This scene is painfully familiar to her. She has wandered aimlessly through a world like this for a full 10 years. Countless battles, countless clashes, all gradually forgotten in this contamination zone. Voimastina's voice sounds beside her, breaking the howling silence. It is soft and calm, devoid of emotional fluctuation, almost like an inorganic synthesized electronic tone. Voimastina is seated up opposite her, cradling a massive anti-material sniper rifle. Even though the weapon surface is rough and worn, it still reflects a harsh, piercing cold light. Alba remembers that back when Voimastina first realized her specs no longer gave her an overwhelming advantage over everything, she sought many alternatives. This rifle was one of them. Even so, in this desolate world, even holding such a weapon, Voimastina's towering figure still looks so small compared to the desert outside, insignificant, lonely, forlorn, as if forgotten by the world. Alba's lips are cracked. She opens her mouth and is startled by how hoarse her voice feels. She lifts a hand to her head and lets out a quiet sigh, trying to massage her temples to ease the stabbing pain. Only then does she notice her fingers trembling slightly, her palms slick with sweat. The sticky and stifling sensation is deeply uncomfortable. She takes a deep breath to steady herself, but ends up inhaling more dust, triggering a violent coughing fit. The image of Angie being swallowed by the tide of ELIDs refuses to leave her mind, replaying again and again, tormenting her. And then there is RPK-16. Why was she the one who helped her, the one who stayed by Angie's side?
Angieが夢に夢の中でも私は守れなかった。アンジもみんなも。
Her trembling voice, filled with pain and guilt, breaks as though she might cry at any second. Whenever Alba thinks of Angelia, an indescribable sorrow surges in her heart, like it's being stabbed by a blade. Every time she looks back and remembers the first time they lost Angelia, she cannot help but wonder. If only she had been more perceptive and discovered the problem sooner. If only she had done a better job at protecting AK-12 so that she hadn't missed that decisive battle. If only she had been stronger. If only she had made the right choices, maybe none of this would have happened. Maybe Angelia would still be alive. Maybe Task Force Defy would still be whole. Maybe. But there are no maybes. Alba knows this. She knows it all too well. In this world, there are no maybes.
ごめん。 こんなこと言ってもしょうがないよね。こういう夢はあまり見ないから、つい。
She rarely has nightmares. Strictly speaking, she almost never dreams at all.
夢？私が？
That's right, she's just a doll. No matter how human-like she seems, she's still a doll. Dolls do not die, nor do they have heartbeats or nightmares. They do not sweat either. She stares blankly at her sweaty, sticky hand, her thoughts momentarily unraveling.
よくわかってるじゃないか。
As Alba freezes in confusion, AK-15 suddenly speaks, her voice cutting cleanly through her thoughts. Her tone is completely different from before, cold and sharp, as if she has become someone else.
AK-15？
今まで起きたこと、アンジェの死もパラデウスの暴虐も、そして私たちがここまで落ちぶれたのはお前のせいだ。お前が無能だからだ。
Alba's head jerks up as she stares wide-eyed at AK-15, who is now on her feet, looming over her, gazing down ruthlessly. Alba's pupils constrict in shock. She cannot believe her ears. She even wonders if she is still dreaming, or if she's fallen into another hallucination. Hallucination?
これはセカンダリレベルの幻覚だ。
また言い訳か？
As AK-15 looks at the shaken Alba, a smile, so derisive it is utterly out of character, appears on her face.
アンジェがいなくなってから私たちは何をしてきた？来る日も来る日もパラデウスに何の戦略的意義もない破壊工作を繰り返してばかり。それで何かが変わったか？10年経った今、奴らは依然存在している。基地を一つ潰しても新たに2つ作られる。私たちのしてきたことに何の意味がある
？Rising higher and higher, AK-15's voice trembles with rage, hatred, and despair. Even as Alba keeps telling herself that this is only a hallucination, her will still threatens to buckle.
どれだけの犠牲を払おうと奴らを根絶することはできなかった。このままでは機能停止するまで無意な日々を過ごすだけだ。何の意味がある
AK-15's voice has turned into a roar. Her words crash through the silent desert like a thunderclap.
いや、最初から意味などなかったんだ。この終わりのないループに陥ったのは他でもない。アルバ、お前のせいだ。違う。
Alba covers her ears and screams in agony. She wants to run or fight, but she can do neither. She cannot move. Her body feels nailed to the ground, heavy as lead, utterly immobile. An inexplicable terror envelops her, pinning her in place. A hallucination. Why is she so certain this is a hallucination? Manchurian gold? Who's to say the real boy Mastina doesn't have such thoughts? At that moment, AK-15 suddenly begins to move. Her movements are slow, stiff like a marionette pulled by invisible strings, or a rusted machine that squeaks and groans with every motion. As she leans in closer, her face begins to change. You see, in our perspective, this is what Boy Mastina looks like because we haven't unlocked her yet. Sorry. As it twists and distorts, her features blur like a sketch rubbed away by an eraser. Her eyes hollow out until they become black voids that seem to swallow everything. Her mouth stretches into a grotesque grin like a wild beast. She bears sharp fangs, sending chills down Alba's spine. That isn't AK-15. It is herself.
私の言っていること
Persona 4?
本当は認めているんでしょうなぜなら全部事実だからあなたがずっと思ってきた事実
The Alba before her reaches out and grips her throat. With her airway cut off, suffocating panic floods Alba's mind. The world before her gradually darkens. Is this how it ends? The train horn suddenly blares. The train lurches and rapidly slows. And the Alba before her loses balance, releasing her grip. At the same time, a burly figure slams into Alba, sending her flying. The train screeches to a halt. Rows of doors click and slide open on both sides of the carriage. As Alba clutches her throat and cups, Boy Mastina yanks her up from the seat.
行け
She shoves Alba out of the train. Behind them, furious roars echo from within the carriage. The doppelganger, Alba, is now covered in grotesque scars that crisscross her face like countless knife wounds, hideous beyond words. Her bloodshot and bulging eyes, filled with hatred and rage, lock onto Alba as if she wants to devour her alive. Boy Mastina turns to face the doppelganger. She glances back at Alba one last time, then strides into the carriage and swings her fist at the grotesque doll.
全部あなたのせい
That Alba begins to rupture and split apart into waves of ALIDs crashing to the ground, snarling as they surge toward her. Alba feels her breathing quicken, but she must stay calm. She must not be deceived by the illusion. She must not let her emotions take control. She has to find the flaw in this hallucination if she wants to escape. She takes a deep breath and grips the gun in her hands tightly, feeling the cold solidity of the weapon forcing her emotions back under control. The train doors close and the train begins to move again, carrying away Boy Mastina and the grotesque Alba, while the tide of ELIDs that has spilled outside rushes toward her. This is a battle she cannot afford to lose. If she loses, she will be trapped in this illusion forever, never escaping, forever living in pain and self-blame, with no chance of redemption. Bars! It's your fault! It's all your fault! Fucker! So many Alba, dude. Wow. Okay, now that's cool. See, they should do more of that. Oh yes, it's all my fault. That's why I cannot die here. There are too many things that I need to do first. Bring it! Man, I wish I had a voice changer. So that when I have to like speak like as the female character, at least I can change my voice into a female one. And make people think, oh, you're actually a girl, Defh? Yes. Imagine. Alright, I need to borrow an Alba. Thank you, extra weight. We're going solo because immersion. screw the people who always use like four Dal squads, even though it's like a literal story on a normal mode.
タクティカルモード起動
You know what's the best thing to do? What the? What? Whoa. Oh! Coordination drill mechanic. Okay. Okay. They have been using it now. Good. Good. The second coordination drill where you play as the Dal community. I was like, what? They were actually moving one tile away. It's the best way to do it is to stand on a thing. So I can't go there.
脅威を排除する
Bye-bye.
任務了解
See there. Cool. Alba opens her eyes. She is sitting in a vast desert. Some distance away, the house of an Elide horde foretell the imminent battle, and just when she is about to run out of ammo, Angelia will come to her rescue. She just has to accept the fact that she will never be able to pull Angelia onto that train. She will be ushered onto the train by RPK-16, then expelled from the same train by AK-15, only to start waiting for Angelia's arrival again. How many times has she repeated this cycle? Alba has lost count. She recalls what AK-15 just said.
この終わりのないループに陥ったのは他でもない。アルバ、お前のせいだ。
She lowers her head. What she is experiencing here is exactly the same as what she has been doing in the past 10 years. Going in an endless circle in a place that defies description. Together with the hulking Dal, they have wiped out Paradeus again and again wherever it appears in their sights. Yet as time goes on, the intelligence they receive leads them to a desperate conclusion. Paradeus is reviving in some form, and that revival is accelerating. With her assistance and the support of their former comrades, Alba and Voimastina have both grown significantly in strength. But even so, the day they can fulfill their former leader's wish seems to be drifting farther and farther away. This place is both a nightmare and reenactment of reality. Alba opens her palm, which reveals a small cube. That cube appeared in her hand when she got off the train for the first time. Alba peers at the glowing cube, yet still shakes her head. Even if this is only a nightmare, Angelia's appearance has given Alba second thoughts. But she knows she can no longer hesitate. Something has to change, Alba thinks. After a brief pause, she touches the cube with her fingertips. The cube emits a faint glow. A blurry figure gradually takes shape in front of her. Okay, so why is she using the GFL1 outfit? That's kinda odd. Also, hi. Hi, AK-12?
どうしたのアルバ
AK-12, also known as the other Leba.
AK-12
Alba stares blankly at that familiar, yet somehow distant, face. It has been 10 years since she last saw her in this form.
まさかこんな時まであなたに頼ることになるなんて私のことが意外でもここにあるものは全部あなたが作り出したのよ
AK-12 casually looks around before letting her gaze settle back on Alba.
私がいるとあなたの防壁は脆弱になる本当にいいの知ってる ただあなたに会いたかった。相変わらず甘え上手ね。せっかくあのキューブ、あいつが助けてあげたのに。私は
A gentle smile graces AK-12's face, her eyes remaining closed.
本当は自分でも意味がないって分かってるんじゃない？意味がないとは思ってない。じゃあどうしてまだここにいるの？私は正しいと思うことをやってるだけ。でも何が正しいのかだんだんわからなくなってきた。
Listen, listen. It's GFL1 music. Ah, dude.
何かを変えることができたのか。隊長としてアンジェの意志を告げられたのかもわからない。自分が信じられない？人形なんだからそんなこと考えても無駄よ。なのにそれでメンタルを蝕まれて。私はただアンジェの目的を果たせないのが怖くて。じゃあアンジェの目的は何だと思う？パラデウス、そして自分のために遺跡を利用しようとする人間の根絶。本当にそうだと思う？アンジェはあなたに本音を言わなかったんだ。あるいはあなたの一方的な願望かもね。アンジェは失敗の決まった道で倒れた。なのにあなたたちは今もその後を追っている。彼女は叶うあてもないほど壮大すぎる理想を抱き、それを受け継いだ者は理想の中身すら知らない。暗闇の中で光を追ったつもりが、その光の下は断崖絶壁だった。あなたたちもそこから落ちるつもり？10年経っても何も変わらなかったのに。どうして私が今もここであなたの話を聞いてるかわかる？どうして？あなたの言ったことは全て私の本心だから。
The smiling AQ-12 gradually turns into Alba.
そして同時に私が克服すべき弱点でもある。アンジェがどうして諦めなかったのかずっと考えてた。私はアンジェの言葉を思い出したの。もし人生が徒労に終わる定めとしてあがく意味はどこにあるのかしら。今の私じゃまだ答えは出せない。多分アンジェも同じ疑問を自分に投げ続けてきたんだと思う。そしてアンジェの答えはその答えを一生かけて探す。そう、希望が見えなくても変わる日まで進まなくちゃいけないの。 確かに私はアンジェの本当の理想がわからない。でも私たちが諦めさえしなければ彼女の意志は生き続ける。抗い続けることが反逆の誓いだから。
The Alba before her smiles serenely, finally at peace.
選択には代償が伴うし、アンジェはそれを払った。あなたは代償を払う準備ならできてる。じゃああなたの実力を試させてもらうよ。
Alba begins to split apart, rupturing into hordes of ALIDs that crash onto the ground, snarling as they lunge toward her. But now, Alva is no longer stricken with panic. She simply tightens her grip and raises her weapon, aiming at the Alba before her.
時間をかけすぎた。後でボイマスティナに謝らないと。何があっても私は進み続けるしかない。そうですよね、アンジェ。